Hello and welcome to Career Mode Part 4. We're at Baku this time around. It's James and Matt.
Hey guys, how we doing? We're going to do a brief rundown here. We've got Charles Leclerc leading the championship, Bottas 8 points down, then Vettel, then Hamilton, then Verstappen, and then James Schubert is coming in P6. Perez, Albon and Sainz all in that area for those midfield positions.
Wonderful stuff. We have engine power and rear wing downforce upgrades that have come in time for this race.
Perfect upgrade choices considering we're coming to Baku.
Yes, but we have had to change our gearbox though, which will give us a 5-spot grid penalty.
Something to consider when going for qualifying.
Welcome to qualifying in the Republic of Azerbaijan. The teams are making their last-minute adjustments before the lights go green, and the fight for...
It's a very cool circuit, isn't it? Having the castle across the road from the modern buildings.
I love it when you see them going through the old castle section. Never mind just how tight and chaotic it is going through there on a quali run. But yeah, beautiful city, Baku.
I think that's one of the tightest and most impressive corner sequences in the whole calendar.
Yeah, it's very intimidating and very exciting at the same time. So I think it's really clever what they've been able to do to incorporate that into the circuit. Hopefully Charles Leclerc won't be stupid again this year, or yourself even, but it will catch something out.
And here we are then, we're on our first qualifying lap in Q1, and we're just trying to attack the circuit as much as we can. In Sector 1 there's a lot of right angle corners. It's a lot like Adelaide.
Yeah. No. I'm also reminded of the first couple of sectors of Russia as well. Just those 90-degree angle corners just nailed the braking points to throw as much speed into them as possible.
And the funny thing about this circuit is that there are some curves that are really flat and some that are quite bumpy. So you just got to know which curve you're up against on the given corner.
Yeah. It's all about the track knowledge. As you're going through the old town centre here, and you made it through pretty nicely. You made that look really easily, Jim.
Look, a lot of practice in P1, P2, P3, just to get this track sorted out. As I said, you need to know which curves are going to shoot you out into the wall, like that one.
Yep.
That one shoots you into the wall,
yep.
And then there are some curves where you can caress them.
Yeah. You can see that quite clearly. Yep. Get a good exit out of there, that's pretty good. Sets yourself up for this really the longest straight in the Formula 1 calendar, and that's why we're going to see plenty of overtaking this weekend.
Yeah, you just got to weave the car through those corners there. And then you let the new engine power upgrade do its work.
Must be a bit buoyed having that engine upgrade and that rear wing upgrade. Perfect timing.
Well, it was all planned out, you know. We're here to score points, big points. We're just trying to get our constructor standings fourth behind Red Bull. Yep. Because we have Racing Point to contend with there.
Yeah, it really is a race for the best. We see you getting into Q2.
We're into Q2.
We're set.
The weather's changed. No more jumper, no more beanie. We're on the medium compound tyres here because I didn't fancy myself on the softs, so I thought why not give myself the option and just go out on the mediums.
Okay, fair enough. Interesting choice. We'll see how you get on this first flying lap here of Q2. Yeah, that's neat and tidy as you get ready for this straight. You activate the DRS and then you're going in for this 90-degree left-hander, which then opens up into another right-hander. You've got to really nail this braking point, about the 100-meter board. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, yeah, kiss that wall as much as you dare. And then don't do a Nico Hulkenberg and hit that barrier and lose the wheel. Yep, you've done well.
A bit of counter steer there on the medium tyres. You just haven't quite got the same amount of grip, obviously, so the confidence goes down a little bit and you can't really bring the car to the barriers as much as you want to. The barriers seem to be closer in when you're on the mediums.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. As we're going through this really tight section of the castle, yep.
You really got to clip both curbs here because they are pretty flat, and then that exit runoff area, you must use it every time.
Yeah, absolutely. I was seeing Charlie Leclerc on his stream going over that runoff area like nothing. And you're right, it's all about those flat curves and utilising them. Watch this one.
That curve there, you really don't want to borrow it actually.
Yeah.
And you run as wide as you can, up against the wall. You think you're going to hit it, but you never do.
Yep. I guess it's all about just training the mind, the visualization.
Yeah. First apex here, very important. Weave the car into the second apex and then flat out through to the pit straight.
Yep. How are you feeling about this particular lap?
This lap's been pretty solid on the mediums, but I know deep down in my heart of hearts that's probably not going to be competitive against the mediums. I mean the softs, of course.
Yeah.
And that's about right. So we're 3 seconds as we wrestle the car through turn 1 behind Sainz, and that puts us to 15th.
Wow. And you've also got that 5-spot grid penalty, don't you?
Yep. So it's going to be a long race. It's going to be a long Sunday, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep.
Good afternoon and welcome to
What a
Baku.
wonderful
This
circuit.
was the arena if-
The Land of Fire, very interesting country, crazy circuit. Well done, Baku is the hashtag that always gets thrown around, and yeah, absolutely pumped for this one. Really looking forward to it.
Crazy circuit for a crazy city, huh?
Yeah, it's well, you know, it's not a place where you think a Grand Prix would be held, but it's a picturesque city, and what they've done with the circuit, I think, is magnificent.
I think it's magnificent. It's a long circuit. You can see it goes around the old castle area and then goes into the new metropolis area.
I was really worried it was going to be too similar to Singapore, but it's actually extremely different to what you get from Singapore.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole
Ferrari
position with
lockout.
Charles Leclerc
Yeah,
alongside.
they've been very
As we
impressive this
continue
year.
through the
Followed by
rest of the grid
Mercedes.
today, we have Hamilton, Bottas, Max Verstappen,
Perez getting up and about.
Albon,
Yeah,
Sainz,
the racing points are
Magnussen,
dangerous this
and
year.
Kimi
So is my teammate.
Grosjean, Hulkenberg,
Yeah.
Pierre Gasly,
Raikkonen
and
always
Ricciardo,
fighting in 10th place.
Giovinazzi,
Yeah.
Fiat, George Russell, and
So where have we
Robert
ended up?
Kubica, James, and Lance
19th
Stroll
place
brings the
after our
grid to a
5
close. And with
place
lights
penalty.
out,
Yeah,
just
but you got
moments
Lance Stroll
away,
there for company who
it's
got a
time to go
10-spot
down to
grid
the track.
penalty, so it'll be interesting to see how both of you get on, whether you can fight through the field. But remember, it's Baku, so really it's a race of attrition.
Here we are then. We've started on the softs, but these tyres are on 0% wear because we haven't put a qualifying lap into them. As we get underway, let's go. We're going to try and go inside lane, but there's nothing doing, so we go flick to the outside lane and
Oh
we
my
run
goodness.
in. We've got to keep one tyre in, otherwise you get penalised. We're going to try and drift into the inside lane. How many spots can we take here? We've got Ricciardo to our right. We're going to squeeze him out, and we make the apex. Oh, there's a bit of contact. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Sorry to my fellow countryman. Matt.
Oh wow, that was incredible. That was reminiscent of back in 2018 and Fernando Alonso getting smashed up there. But your P14 right now going down the inside of Daniel Ricciardo. Can you make it stick? Yes, you've got that line. You just squeeze him out against the barrier and he has to yield. Moved up to P13 from the back of the grid. Very impressive. I had my eyes closed as I was watching. I couldn't watch, but I couldn't look away at the same time as we go through the start of the second sector here, tucked in behind Nico Hulkenberg. You've got to be very happy with that start, surely.
Mate, I knew that if I was going to score points today, I had to send it in the first lap and get some positions out of the way. Because it is hard to pass here. You wouldn't think so, but on the long straight, when you have DRS, so does the man in front of you as well.
Yeah, it's because it's such a long straight. It is actually difficult to decide when you want to be in front. And just because you're going to be in front of the guy that you're trying to pass at the start of the straight, usually it means that you're going to end up behind him going into turn 1. As we watch you guys go down the hill here and getting ready for that really long straight, tucked in behind Nico Hulkenberg, who's got a Haas in front of him for company. And it seems you pulled away a little bit. You've got a nice little gap behind you, which is great to see.
Here we are running on board with myself. We're in the slipstream of Nico Hulkenberg. No DRS yet, but can we get him?
Yeah, wow, you're gaining that draft really nicely. He doesn't seem to have caught on to that Haas. Maybe it's the Renault Power, but
It must be the new upgrades.
it must
this
be the new
week.
upgrades. But you're being held up there in front by the Haas
Oh, I
going
can't
into
send
turn
it
1.
deep. I can't send it deep because I got the Haas in front of me, but can we keep Hulkenberg to the outside into turn 2? It looks like we can.
Yeah, you've taken that very nicely, and it looks like you Grosjean impeded you a little bit, but also helped you at the same time, stopping Hulkenberg from making any form of counter-attack. And now it'll be about trying to catch up to the Haas as we're on board with Kimi Raikkonen.
Kimi
I believe.
Raikkonen a bit further up the road, and he's got some action in front of him. That looks like Grosjean.
No, that will be Magnussen, I believe.
That might be Magnussen. I can't be sure.
No, I'm just assuming on the basis that Grosjean's around you, but that's okay.
Absolutely
Actually,
correct. Just on that turn 1 move there, it was one of those ones where I had to keep my eye on Grosjean, but then keep my right eye on Hulkenberg.
Yeah.
So left eye on Grosjean,
Yeah.
right eye on Hulkenberg,
Yeah.
and brake at the same time. Have fun with that one.
Yeah, exactly. And you got to make sure that you know where Hulkenberg is, so that way you don't go into him, potentially spin yourself out and ruin your race. So lots of concentration, and that's what this circuit really demands: cool steel concentration, and just keep your head.
Well, there's no runoff area here as well, apart from a few corners in the last sector. So if you make a mistake, it is race over. You don't just lose time, you have a race.
Absolutely.
Now, I am on the soft tyres, and a lot of my competitors are on the mediums in the first stint. So I will just have to be as aggressive as possible and make as many positions as I can straight off the bat.
Taking a leaf out of Max Verstappen's book as we're on board with him. He's also on the soft tyre here, and he's gaining the draft there on that Pink Panther. No DRS yet, as the race has only just started. I'd say he's picked that move at the perfect time, because he's going to get his nose cone in front as they go into turn 1. Or is he?
That's Sergio Perez on the right-hand side there, and he's just going to take him. He's going to edge him out, give him some room, then beat him into turn 2.
Yeah. That was well done by Max Verstappen. It wasn't too aggressive. Gave room to Perez, which is always good. This is Valtteri Bottas going past one of the Ferraris, and I believe that's Lewis Hamilton in front of him.
Yep. So that's Charles Leclerc behind him now, and then we have Seb Vettel up front.
So Seb Vettel leading the pack. Okay, and Charles Leclerc the loser of that first round spat there. Anyway, back on board with you now, James. You've still got that annoying Grosjean in front of you. He hasn't binned it into the wall, but then again, there hasn't been a safety car yet.
Well, this is actually race critical for me because it's only lap 3, but Grosjean's on the medium tyre, right? I'm on the soft, so I have to get by him. And I'm in 12th place. Like, I need points.
Absolutely.
Data shows the tyres are okay right now. We anticipate good levels of grip for the next few laps at least.
Bit cautious going through the old section there, that's okay. But yeah, it is race critical to get past the Haas. I'm assuming you're looking at, are you looking at a one-stop strategy or a two-stop strategy today?
One stop. We'll be going from the softs onto the hards.
Okay.
Here we are then, lap 3. We've got Vettel up front on the softs to Hamilton, to Valtteri Bottas, to Leclerc, to Perez, Verstappen, Sainz, to Albon, to Magnussen, and then Raikkonen.
So top 10 all running the soft tyre here. So your closest competitors, whilst running on the mediums, all the guys up front are running on the soft. So it'll be very interesting to see. We're on board with Valtteri Bottas. Looks like he wants to make a move on Lewis Hamilton. He'll have DRS. It is lap 3 now. Hamilton goes defensive. Bottas goes to the outside line. And yeah, he's gotten himself nicely in front, and he's going to take that corner. But Hamilton comes back.
No.
Hamilton's come back. And he's got himself in front, and Hamilton will take that corner going into turn 2.
Jeez,
will
that's
Bottas
tight.
keep fighting? Oh, there's contact between the two Mercedes. And what's going to happen here? DRS is activated again for Bottas. Can he get past him? Hamilton's just going to try and squeeze him into the wall. That's exactly what he's done. Extremely defensive driving from Hamilton. And more contact between the Mercedes drivers. Bottas edges him out after some bumper cars. Gets the curb. Oh no, Hamilton's fighting back!
Oh, Toto Wolff would just be an anxious mess right now. That was 3 or 4 corners side by side with some tyre banging in the mix as well, just for good measure. And I'm still behind Grosjean.
Oh, that was flashbacks to the Red Bulls in 2018.
Oh, absolutely. And there's no margin for error around here, obviously.
Laps over target on fuel. Let's start burning it off, please.
So to catch Grosjean here, I have to have a good castle section because the castle section shoots you out into the main straight.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I need to get as close as I can right now. This needs to be clean. I need to get right up next to the curbs. I need a nice clean exit out of here as well.
Which you do get.
Not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad. You don't use that runoff. Meanwhile, this is Sebastian Vettel. He's leading the Grand Prix.
Yep, he's out there and he's in full control of this race. He's actually turned back the clock to his Red Bull days. He's corners ahead already. Only on lap 4.
Oh, as he nearly dropped the rear end there going down the hill. You got to watch out for those curbs. We were mentioning it earlier in practice and qualifying. You really have to make sure you're not clipping that one because it will spit you into the wall.
The gap is 1.1 between me and Grosjean right now. The DRS activation zone is coming up right now. Are we 1 second within him?
Our gap to the car in front is 1.1
Here the blip if it goes on.
There it is.
We've got
He's got
DRS.
He's got
Look at
amazing
this
drive.
speed difference. It's about 20 kilometers.
I reckon that is the rear wing upgrade along with the DRS just made you blow right
Look at
past
that.
Romain
We use
Grosjean.
all the circuit as well. You got to watch out for that braking point after DRS because you are going quite a bit faster. You got to brake a bit earlier.
Yeah. Suddenly the braking point changes, but you must be really happy with that getting past Romain Grosjean. You can now move in on Kimi Raikkonen. Might be a bit harder to get past him as he's on the soft tyre as well, but Kimi does have traffic in front of him, which can potentially bring you into these points-paying positions.
Absolutely right. And just so you know, I actually did start the race with a bit more fuel on board, so I've got an extra weapon, if you will. I can turn the engine up to rich mode, rich consumption, and get some extra horsepower when I'm in the free air.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. Maybe for some teams with Baku, there can be heating issues and engine problems, but hopefully you don't seem to have that issue going into this race.
Whoa! Really just drift the car through turn 2. It's lap 6, so the tyres are starting to wear it a bit more. But as you can see, I am on rich fuel mix right now because I'm in the clean air.
Yep.
The engine can cool down.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect time to use it. Meanwhile, we've got the 2 Red Bulls together, and I believe that's Kimi Raikkonen behind them.
Yes, it is.
Yes, because we've got Magnussen, Sainz, and then we've got the 2 Red Bulls. I don't know. That's Alex Albon. So Max Verstappen is in front of Alex Albon. What a beautiful view as they go through the Old Castle section.
And this is playing into my hands. While they're all in each other's dirty air, I can just put the fuel mix on rich and try and catch up.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe your teammate was creating that train, but I think it's more Kevin Magnussen who's creating that train. We're on board with Sainz now, going into one of these last corners here. Does well, doesn't clip that curb, which is really important. Gets an excellent drive, and he'll get DRS on K-Mag. And it looks like he'll be coming on through, but you've got to watch out for those Red Bulls behind as well.
He's got a good toe, doesn't he?
Yeah, before the DRS even.
Oh, gets squeezed out. Oh. That's a late move from the Haas driver right there. That's dirty driving, but no harm, no foul.
That's expected from K-Mag. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen's going to have a go. Oh no, they're going to be 3 abreast going to turn 1. No, Max Verstappen actually yields. Carlos Sainz on the inside. K-Mag going around. Gets a bad exit, and K-Mag just blasts past him.
Verstappen then thinks better of it, lives to fight another day rather than throw it away into turn 1, just like he did with Ricardo a while ago.
Well, that's the thing, when you go around turn 1, you're going around this room, and suddenly that barrier comes in and there's no more room.
And it's coming in at a quick pace as well. You're going fast around there.
Yeah, as Max Verstappen goes around the outside, we'll get the inside line for this next corner. That was a beautiful move on Carlos Sainz. He has to be happy with that.
Wouldn't have seen that one coming, Carlos. And as you can see, I am catching up. I'm just in the background now. There I am.
Yep.
So it's all coming into play. Hopefully I can get into DRS zone pretty soon.
Yep. And just another problem for Kimi to worry about. It seems this rivalry between you and Kimi Raikkonen. I don't know if the stars are trying to align it for you two, or if you've got an agreement to get the action on the track. But it's great. It's been great battling across the Grand Prix between you and Kimi.
Well, if it wasn't for Kimi's reliability issues with his car, he would have had a lot more points by now in the championship, because he'd actually blown up twice this year already, and he was in the points both times. As Carlos Sainz is in the pits.
And we've got a Haas going down the inside of you. That is Romain Grosjean.
So he gets back past us then.
Window open. Let's box this lap.
So we're currently in 4th place because the front runners have already pit stopped. So we'll be pitting this lap, I believe, as we get DRS, and we've got Vettel behind us. So we'll have to deal with that. He's on the hards, but they're fresh hards.
Fresh hards, and then you've got Grosjean on used mediums. Probably not going to be able to get past Grosjean. And I don't know, do you even want to fight for it before you're going into the pits? What are you thinking at this moment?
At this point, I'm thinking, let's just tuck up behind him, get some DRS to defend from Vettel, and just have a clean pit stop.
Yep.
Not much point trying to pass him here, because I don't want to risk breaking my front nose and then having a 10-second pit stop as opposed to a 2-second pit stop.
Yeah, no, that's entirely fair. As we're having a look at all the field here, we've got Nico Hülkenberg behind Sebastian Vettel. He hasn't pitted yet, as he's still on those mediums, blowing brake discs, because the brake temperatures really ramp up here around Baku.
Having to be a lot more careful in the castle section there on the exit. Haven't really got the confidence under acceleration, as Vettel is looming large in the mirrors. Is he going to try and move into this tight left-hander?
Surely not. Oh, he's gone down the inside. My God, Buntesign!
Oh, he's made contact as well, and he's made me cut the track. That's not my fault. I'm on heavily worn rear tyres, and we're going to just try and squeeze him out. Jeez, Vettel, it's not necessary, mate. I'm going to pit this lap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, there's a replay.
Wow. So you cut the corner there, but I don't think you'll get penalised for that, because that was a very audacious move from Sebastian Vettel. If you didn't move out of the way, you both would have been in the wall. I would have
crashed him. It was either take the exit or crash into Vettel.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the corner cut every day of the week. Didn't even get a warning for it, because they know it wasn't my fault, as I duck into the pits.
Sebastian Vettel maybe just a bit hot under the collar. Well, I guess he is leading the race on merit if the situation hasn't changed. Meanwhile, we've got, is that Giovinazzi behind you, and then one of the Pink Panthers going into the pits. Quick pit stop here onto the hard tyres. Very nicely done by the McLaren boys.
Good work from the boys there. Yeah, look, Vettel's not the most patient bloke, is he?
I mean, not around Baku at least.
No. Then our pit stops are all finished now, so we're on the hard tyres, as we're now behind Kvyat, who hasn't pit stopped yet. He's still on the medium compound tyres. We still have some excess fuel, so I've got the engine up to rich.
Yep. As we're having a look on board with Giovinazzi, who did actually get leapfrogged by that Pink Panther going into the pits. He'll be frustrated with that one. I think it's Lance Stroll who got past him in the end.
It's never a good feeling when someone passes you in the pit stop. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
As we're just waiting for the hard compound tyres to warm up a bit, we're quite...
A bit dicey going through that tight section,
haven't quite got the confidence under braking yet. And mid-corner, the rear end is moving around a bit. As we're on board now with Science, this looks like he's against Perez right now.
Yeah, he'll have DRS. Perez has DRS. That poor Haas driver doesn't have DRS. They're not going to go 3 abreast. They'll just plow on through down the inside. Carlos Sainz has just been taken for the ride there, and he'll be like, yep, thanks. I'll enjoy that free position.
Absolutely powerless there. Magnussen, he couldn't do anything about that one.
That's the thing about Baku. If you don't have the DRS going down the straight, you really are a sitting duck. It doesn't even matter about power unit anymore. It's a 2-kilometre straight, thereabouts, so you're just going to suffer the pain.
All he can do now is just try and tuck up behind them.
Yeah, and a very common thing that we see around this circuit, which is why it's so exciting, because you get so many overtaking opportunities. We're going to have a run down here, lap 10. We've got Grosjean in first, hasn't pitted yet. Then we got Vettel, Hülkenberg, Hamilton, Leclerc, Bottas, Albon, Verstappen, Perez, and then Carlos Sainz. We still got a couple of those drivers who need to pit. Obviously, Romain Grosjean does.
And Hülkenberg as well.
Yes, was going to say. Meanwhile, the rest of them all moved onto the hard tyres. Everyone wants the one stop.
And there's Hülkenberg here. He's holding up the leaders. Is he going to peel off into the pit lane on this lap? He might as well. Doesn't look like it.
Well, it doesn't. I don't know if he's fighting here. He's down the inside. We've got Lewis Hamilton there on the outside of him, going to blaze past him. We've got Charlie Leclerc and then Valtteri Bottas behind. And meanwhile, having a look at Sebastian Vettel, who is stuck behind Romain Grosjean.
And that would be infuriating Seb right now, because he's in the lead and he's getting held up on a man with old medium tyres, and it's a Haas as well.
And his direct competitors are right behind him, but that's okay. Sebastian Vettel is going to blaze down the outside as we're heading into this next left-hander. Easy braking point, clips the curb. Yep, standard procedure there for Vettel, and he retakes the lead on merit and in reality. So he needs to now pull away as much as possible while the other drivers have some traffic to deal with.
Well, he dealt with that Haas driver there, and now he's back in control of the race. He has nothing but fresh air in front of him until he reaches the back markers.
Must be a bit jealous there, considering that you do not have fresh air. You've got annoying Danny Kvyat in front of you, who is still on the medium tyres as well.
And what's more annoying is that I can't seem to catch him.
Yeah.
I'm on the fresh hards and he's on the old mediums, but I'm not really getting any closer. And it's lap 10. I need to get a wriggle on here.
Yeah. Well, the Toro Rossos have been quite impressive. More so Pierre Gasly than Kvyat, but Kvyat's done alright. I think they've just got a good package
as we
overall.
lock up and go deep, and we nearly lose our front wing end plate there. That could have ruined my race.
That could have been the end of you there. Maybe you are still just waiting for these hard tyres to heat up. You haven't got the confidence that you were having in the first stint, but you got to get it back. Otherwise, you're going to struggle to get past Kvyat.
It was a bit like in qualifying. I had the pace on the softs, but I was absolutely nowhere on the mediums.
Yeah, well, maybe this McLaren is a bit more finicky than first thought when it comes to setting up the car based on the tyres.
So we'll try and get into DRS zone here. We're looking closer this time. We're only 1.085 off Kvyat, so if we can get a good left-right hander here, we should be in range. Just feed the car through. So I've got the engine on rich, the ERS deployment on overtake mode, so we're going as fast as possible right now.
Yeah, we get the DRS there, so that's good, and you can see it getting closer and closer and closer. It's the Jaws scene all over again. Goes to the outside, just gets the nose in front. Kvyat will fight back though. Bit of jostling between the two drivers, but you've pulled out ahead of him. And now ideally what you do is move over to the inside, clip that curb, take that corner, and try and pull away as much as possible, turn up the engine.
Here's a replay then. So we get pushed out wide. He makes us earn it there. We get nice and close to the barrier, but we make it work.
Yeah, hard but fair driving from Danny Kvyat, who now has a Pink Panther behind him to deal with, so maybe that works in your favour.
And those racing points have been pretty quick this year, haven't they?
They've really been your direct competitors when it comes to fighting for best of the rest. Sergio Perez has been absolutely amongst it this year.
Well, I think he's in 5th or something like that right now. He's right behind the front runners.
Maybe.
And Racing Point have actually overtaken Red Bull.
Oh, I see.
Well, not officially, but on the track.
Yep. Yep.
They're right up amongst it.
Yeah, well, they must have a good package. Must be enjoying Lawrence Stroll's money, utilising this as much as possible. And in a couple of years' time, they'll probably be rebranded to Aston Martin and could actually be a force to be reckoned with in Formula One.
Force Aston Martin, perhaps.
I don't know. Force Aston Martin Racing. All I know is I'm looking forward to a really dark green livery with that beautiful Aston Martin logo on a Formula One car.
Absolutely. As we have George Russell in front, he's 1.7 in front of us.
Although that Williams has terrible drag, so you might know. It looks like he's a little bit too far away right now, but at least not directly competing with him. Meanwhile,
Sainz then battling with Magnussen, going around the outside. So this is a bit in front of us now.
Yep.
And they're going to maintain this battle into turn 2. A bit of a lock-up there from Magnussen. He squeezes him up against that right-hand wall there. And they're still side by side as Raikkonen's just in front. I don't know who's going to come out in front. We're going to run on board now with Magnussen. He's going to squeeze him to the right.
Yep.
Gee whiz, and that's a deal done right there.
Yeah. Although Sainz will get the better entry into this corner because K-Mag did clip that curb a little bit too much, but I think K-Mag's done enough here to keep that position for now. Those two are going at it. Hammer and tongs.
It's very hard to pass around this part of the circuit. It can be done, but it's high risk because there are walls everywhere.
Yeah, and I think really the most ideal strategy is to try and keep your head as much as possible when you're going through the first part of the circuit. Just stay as close as possible throughout as they go through
Wonderful
the whole
camera
section.
angle.
Yeah, it's just fantastic to see. Meanwhile, having a look at some Red Bull dueling action here.
So that looks like what then? That's Verstappen to Albon, and that looks like Perez behind.
Yeah, as we said, ever opportunistic Sergio Perez staying behind those two Red Bulls. It'll be interesting to see what happens as they go down the straight here. Will there be team orders to let Albon through? I don't think so.
I don't think you need team orders right now with DRS.
Yeah.
I reckon Perez might have something to say here.
Oh no!
That's a late move!
Oh no, that surely isn't kosher. Alex Albon diving down the inside, blocking Sergio Perez. Sergio Perez going down the inside. They are three abreast going down the straight into turn 1. I think Sergio Perez has actually got both the Red Bull drivers.
The horsepower from that Racing Point engine. That's a Mercedes engine, isn't it?
Yes, it is a Mercedes engine.
Oh, look at that beautiful white helmet as well. He's made it work.
And despite Alex Albon absolutely hanging him out to drive, a very K-Mag-esque move down a straight, dangerous speeds, dangerous maneuvers, but Perez just shook it off like Taylor Swift, and he's taken the two Red Bull drivers.
But I think that Albon was just trying to pass Verstappen.
I believe so, but he's got to be aware of the fact that you've got 3 cars going 300 kph plus down a straight, and I wonder if the stewards are going to have a look at that one.
That's absolutely right. As we get an update on the front runners, that's Leclerc, and in front of him, about to be Bottas, or is it Hamilton? No, that's Hamilton.
That is Hamilton, and meanwhile we've got Sebastian Vettel just still running the show. It really is reminiscent of his old Red Bull days. He'll be happy as pie. He's got clean air. He's got hard tyres that can last him the rest of the race. We haven't had a safety car yet. A safety car would really ruin Vettel's day right now.
Hulkenberg behind, they're on fresh hards.
Ominous message there regarding Hulkenberg.
Yeah, well, Hulkenberg started out on the medium compound tyres, so he's going to have fresher tyres than us for the rest of the race. As we have a yellow flag, I wonder what this is for. We'll have to be a bit more cautious through Sector 2.
Yellow flag. Okay, some information on Raikkonen.
Oh no, it's Kimi!
Kimi Raikkonen out of the Grand Prix again. There he is to our right hand side there. I feel sorry for him.
Oh, that's the second time that his car has just given up on him.
Clear.
I mean, it does put us closer to the points. We're now in 11th place. That's a free position.
Their tyres are 6 laps
Yeah,
off.
well, yeah, there's great respect between the two drivers.
Exactly right.
Yeah,
You're closing in by around 1.4 seconds a lap.
It's not good to see. We don't want to see Kimi having to retire. But anyway, back to the action. We're on board with Hulkenberg, who is hunting you down on those fresher hard tyres.
That's exactly right. And he's going to be in DRS zone. He's going to just show himself in our mirrors there as well. We take some curb because we're getting a bit nervous.
Yeah, I was going to say the mirror effect, clearly effective, and Hulkenberg has a cheeky smile on his face at this point.
I reckon he might have me here. I'm not sure. Hopefully I can get in touch with Sainz's DRS, but he looks too far away. I'm defenseless right now. I'll have the engine turned up though.
Yeah, well, like Daniel Ricciardo says, you may be a bit vulnerable, and Hulkenberg might like them vulnerable. We'll see what happens. So far, I can't see him in your mirrors as we're heading down the straight, but surely he's got the DRS.
It's long straight though, but we have got the...
We're trailing our teammate by 1.6 seconds.
1.6 behind Science. So Science has actually gotten past Grosjean there, but what I was going to say is that we have the engine upgrade, we have the aero upgrade. That is helping a lot today.
Yeah, I mean, Hulkenberg didn't even get anywhere near you going down that straight, so it seems that these upgrades have been very effective. Meanwhile, this is Lance Stroll going on Hulkenberg.
Stroll started last on the grid today, and he's coming through the field in the Racing Point car. It's very impressive, and he's taken Hulkenberg off my hands, but I'm not sure if I prefer Hulkenberg or Lance Stroll behind me.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a mirror image of what you've done. You're both starting at the back of the grid, and you're both fighting through.
Our gap to the car in front is 2.4 seconds. We'll be back on target soon. Don't wait too long to
The story of my
turn the
day
engine
being behind a Haas, isn't it?
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe Gunter Steiner was like, we don't like this James Schubert guy, and so we'll try and keep in front of him at all times. Anyway,
we are getting a bit greedy on the gas pedal there, so we lost a bit of traction, and now Lance Stroll is right behind, and he's already passed me before the braking point. Give that one to him, and just hope I can attach myself onto the back of that train and just take me to the points. Take me to the promised land.
Yeah, exactly.
Take me with you.
Yeah, we shall go together. Hopefully that's what's going to happen for you. But yeah, just that little mistake there gave Lance the opportunity he needed. On board, checking out what's going on with Carlos Sainz here. He's got two Haas's behind him.
Wonderful nose camera there. Look at that front wing flexing under the stresses of this circuit.
Yeah, and you can just see how close you get to the barriers here around Baku.
Back on board with myself then. You've got to be nice and aggressive now. I think the tyres have come to me a little bit now. A lot more confidence.
Well, 2 positions away from the points paying, considering starting at the back of the grid.
We have a wonderful helicopter angle here. Look at that magnificent building on the left.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that is, but...
Yeah, I'm assuming it's some kind of cathedral, but yeah, or mosque even. But yeah, Baku is just a wonderful city. I guess having some oil money on the Caspian Sea doesn't hurt, does it? But you know what? They've done well with it. And Azerbaijan, definitely on my list of places to visit. On board with Romain Grosjean, going down the inside of Carlos Sainz. He's probably got the DRS. He looks like he's made that work. What can Sainz do? Nothing, frankly. He just has to accept that, take the L, and just hopefully fight back, live to fight another day. Grosjean having a very good race, actually, managing himself quite well.
Yeah, it looks as though Sainz and the Haas drivers are just trading punches today.
Yeah, which is entertaining for us, but not good in terms of the race strategy.
I am keeping up with Stroll here. He's not romping away into the distance.
Maybe by the end of this lap, or maybe in a couple of laps' time, you'll actually be able to have a dip at him. Meanwhile, I can see a pesky Alfa Romeo of Antonio Giovinazzi behind you, having a much better race this time out compared to previous ones. And you'll have to watch out for him, because on the straights it could be deadly.
So the Haas drivers, they actually haven't really been close to the points in round 1, 2 and 3, but here they are. Really pressing a case.
Well, like I said, they've got the Ferrari power unit, which must help them when they're going down the long straight. And maybe they've just got their things in order, their ducks in a row, and have come up with a better package. Not really sure. Okay, here we are, we're on lap 20, so we've only got 6 laps left of this Grand Prix in Azerbaijan. You clip the curb, counter steer as much as you can.
And we could lighten up those rear tyres there, and as you can see on the bottom right, we've got 0.00 extra laps of fuel, so now I'm just on par, so I don't have that weapon.
Yeah, exactly, and Lance Stroll's gotten away from you. Meanwhile, we're having a look here. This is Carlos Sainz. The 2 Haas drivers have gotten back in front of him. They must have done the old shake and bake. Sainz going down the outside here to get past the first Haas. That looks like K-Mag. I think I could be wrong. Are they going to go 3 abreast into turn 1? No, they're not.
They're in triangle flying formation.
Yeah, it's exactly right. But Sainz has managed to get past K-Mag, and he's now going to have a look at Romain Grosjean. Not exactly now, but just keep him in the mirrors there. And is that Sergio? No, that's Lance Stroll actually.
Stroll's absolutely flying.
Yeah.
As is Perez. Those Racing Point cars are flying.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, you would not want to trip over each other on the pit straight because they're getting awfully close.
Yeah. Everyone's gotten very close over the course of this Grand Prix. I still can't believe we haven't had a safety car yet.
It is getting dicey, but yeah, no safety car yet.
Word on the tyres, they look okay for now, but we can see the wear. If you can't feel it already, then you'll certainly start too soon. Just be
So the tyres are wearing a little bit then, as we have Hulkenberg behind us here.
Struggling to get through that corner there, I just noticed.
Yeah, it's a weird circuit. If you overthink the corners, you stuff it up, and if you don't think too much, you just fly through. So this is the point of the race where I was like, James, don't overthink it, just move on instinct. As we correct the car mid-corner there.
As Nicky Lauda would say, feel it in your ass.
That's right.
Hulkenberg behind, less than a second separate you. They're on old hards. Their tyres are 7 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 45.7.
We're on board with Hulkenberg now. He goes left, right. He sells the dummy, and I chew right on it.
Yeah, no, you took that. You took that dummy with you to the bank, and Hulkenberg will take that position to the bank.
He absolutely dangled the carrot, and I took it.
Yep. You're probably looking back and going, no, I shouldn't have fallen for that one.
But there's not much you can do on the pit straight here at Baku.
No,
Honestly. What we'll try and do though is get into his draft and maybe take him back on the next lap. But you got to think on a macro level, we are all catching the battle for 10th place.
I was going to say, because at this point, you are outside of the points. There's a few laps to go. Are you now just resigned to the fact that you're not going to get points, or are you still tinkering away and thinking what might come?
Well, in this career mode, there's no restarts, no flashbacks, so you just have to cop what you cop, and I'm just going to do my best and just keep driving. You never know what's going to happen, especially with the long straight. At Baku here, if you get in DRS zone, you can pass multiple cars at once.
Yeah, no, this is very true.
So I know I'm in the hunt.
Yep, and it's good to see you've still got the belief. You got to keep thinking that things are going to come your way. You just got to tinker away, and as you say, don't overthink it. Find the groove, find the instinct, and just try and stay with Hulkenberg as much as you can, I guess.
Yep, just gonna try and keep it clean, avoid the harsh curbs.
Yep,
and just see if we can get into DRS zone, and we've saved some fuel throughout the course of this lap. We're on rich mode right now. We get nice and wide. We are pushing as hard as we can. We are using all the track that it has to offer.
Did you close your eyes at that point? Did you grimace a little bit because that barrier came in?
Funny you say that, mate. Not in the slightest. I felt in full control. I knew what I was doing. I was like, yep, there's a barrier, but I'm just going to clip it.
Okay.
Yeah. As it looks like we might be in range here for some DRS, we are. That's so crucial. That is going to bring me right up. Then I just need to have a nice sector 2.
Yep. Meanwhile, we're having a look with this scrap for the final points paying positions. We've got Lance Stroll, who's actually gotten in front of the Haas.
Stroll has picked apart the Haas drivers and Sainz as it's lap 23. 3 laps left then, Matt.
Yep, so we've got Sebastian Vettel leading the race, then Hamilton, Leclerc, Bottas, Perez. That's the top 5 all on hard tyres. Alex Albon, Max Verstappen. Wow, interesting with that that Red Bull battle. Grosjean in 8th, Stroll in 9th, and K-Mag has the last points paying position. This is not good for you McLaren boys if you do not pick up any points here, as your nearest rivals are going to take it and probably leapfrog you in the Constructors.
Absolutely. It's a very tight 3-way between Racing Point, Haas and McLaren. Anyway though, we're still on lap 23. Let's see what the action is doing. We got Stroll,
Then
Grosjean. No,
it's K-Mag.
K-Mag.
Yeah.
And then that's Sainz.
Yep.
And then I'm behind Sainz.
It seems we need that running sheet there
It's
at all
the
times.
time. We need it all the time.
Yeah,
all the time.
All the time we need it, yeah. Just
on board with Bottas then. And that looks like Leclerc there. So we're just having an update with the front runners there. So let's see who's in front. Still with Leclerc there. And that's Hamilton. He's not too far behind Vettel, but I think he's too far to mount an attack.
Yeah, there's only a few laps left. Unless Vettel makes a mistake, I think he's going to claim this one. And that'll be his first win of the season, I believe, which will be really good for him because it's mostly been Charles Leclerc who's been leading the fight for Ferrari.
It's a very tight top 4 though, if you noticed in the first part of the video. But updated everyone about the championship standings.
Yeah.
It's very tight.
Yeah, and this race just adds a bit more fuel to that fire. It brings Sebastian Vettel right back into the title fight. We can see here you're actually gotten a bit closer to Nico Hülkenberg. There's only 2.5 laps remaining though.
And crucially, Hülkenberg's also caught up with those in front of us. So both vacuuming in behind those, the battle for 10th.
Yeah. And you've shaken off Giovinazzi like a bad rash. He is not going to be anywhere near you in this fight towards the end unless something drastic happens as you go through the old castle section here.
Oh, we attack the castle section there. So the mindset right now is, look, I'm in 13th place. I've got no points where I am now.
Yep.
I'm going to drive as hard as I can. If I crash, I crash.
Yep.
Doesn't really matter.
Sounds like what you're... Oh, meanwhile, Carlos Sainz trying to go down the inside. Oh, contact and almost into the wall.
There's no room around the outside of that tight left-hander as a battle for 10th stands as Magnussen in 10th, Sainz in 11th, Hülkenberg in 12th, and Schubert in 13th.
And Schubert is coming up to this final points-paying position fight.
That's Hülkenberg having a go on Sainz there. He's going to make it work.
Well, it's before the DRS section. I wonder who's actually going to get it as they go on through. K-Mag's a sitting duck. Hülkenberg and Sainz get the DRS. You don't get the DRS, unfortunately. What's going to happen going into turn 1? K-Mag goes defensive and just maintains the position as Hülkenberg and Sainz...
Oh, we get nice and close to the turn 1 barrier there. Sorry to cut you up, Matthew.
No,
but
that's
it's
fine.
lap 25 and a lap 26, and I'm in DRS zone, and I'm going to drive the wheels off this thing.
Yep.
I've got 40% tyre wear, but I don't care.
Yep.
Let's go.
Yeah, it sounds like what the race engineer said to Kimi before he banged on through into Bottas. Last lap, James, all or nothing. Well, 2 laps to go. It really is everything on the line. The full send must be done if we want anything from
We
this
must
race.
hug the left apex there to open up this right-hander and get the early exit. Yep, power's on, nice and clean. We need to have a good castle section here to make ourselves within 1 second of Sainz come the DRS activation point.
And I'm just having a look at the camera over here. I can see the concentration on your face. I can see the nervy bits as we go through this tight section.
Oh, we run a bit out of shape there, so we're going to take a bit of extra curb. Oh, that's a bit costly.
Yeah.
That is going to sink my spirits a little bit there.
Yeah, and we clip that curve, which is not what we want to do. Meanwhile, the brake temperatures are getting a little bit too hot here. It is all happening, and the pressure
we're
is
taking
there.
all that curb as well. Very unforgiving on the car.
Yeah. Well, you know, the car's just going to have to put up with it for these next 2 laps because you are a man on a mission.
Look at my delta there. I'm plus 1 second from my from my best lap, I should say. So it actually hasn't been the greatest lap. I've actually tried to overdrive the car a bit.
Yeah. Tensions are high. Meanwhile, we got Hülkenberg going down the inside of the Haas there. That looks like it's K-Mag. He's made that work. Can he make it stick? Goes quite defensive into the first corner. That's probably necessary. Claims as much of the racing line as possible.
He's still there.
He's still there and he's fighting back. They're going to go through.
Oh, how is there no contact into the fence on the right-hand side there as Sainz is just in the mirrors, just looming large. He's just got the popcorn out. And he's going to try Hülkenberg as well.
Oh, wow. This is incredible. My hand is on my mouth right now as
This is
they're
the
going
last
on
lap.
through.
Oh, they're crawling through turn 3 there. This is bad. Their pace is slow right now.
Yeah. And somehow they've all come out of it unscathed.
Oh, that looming large is Schubert. He's coming through.
Yeah.
He's right behind now.
Well, let's see. If the shenanigans continue, you may very well be in it here for that final straight on that final lap. And we can see these guys all just hunting away with each other. I wonder what the strategy is going to be between Sainz,
Look at those! Look at the tyre wear, and I've got an orange rear wing. I think DRS is not working right now, so it's just not meant to be for me today, is it?
Oh no! Don't say the DRS isn't working.
Oh, that's a nice exit there. Look at the delta, minus 1.6. I mean, minus 0.17.
Yeah.
And we have the DRS on hot lap. This is the last lap of the race, so I'm just going to empty the car out.
Yeah.
Oh, the 3 drivers in front have a terrible left-hander right there. Can we get a nice exit? We are in DRS zone. What's going to happen next?
Yeah.
Get the exit. There it is.
You've actually got an amazing drive out of that, and these guys are really struggling on these last few corners. So we're going to see what happens here. We go through the kinks.
We're
Bit of
on.
energy saving. He's got a great line here. We're going to see what happens. And it's moving side to side. Schubert goes over to the right. He gets past 1. He gets past 2. That's Carlos Sainz on the left. He finds himself in front. He's not himself in front. Big crash. Crashed. They have crashed after the line. They have all come together.
We came 10th. It looks like we've come 10th.
Oh my goodness.
I cannot believe it.
Oh my goodness.
We came from nowhere to score a point at Baku.
Oh.
I cannot believe it. But Was that crash? Who was at fault of that crash?
I hope we have a replay of that, because that's absolutely insane.
We'll see what
Absolute
Stu would say.
pandemonium.
Oh my word.
Look how happy he is. Look how excited he
The
is.
release of stress.
Oh
the
my
release
goodness.
of stress.
Oh my goodness. He's a man possessed, and he's done it. He has done it.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not even watching what's on the screen right now.
What a finish. Oh boy, do we have a replay? Surely the replay is coming up.
Hopefully, but we have to have a look at the podium. Let's be a bit respectful
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
So
We have got 3 winners.
Yeah, so we've got Sebastian Vettel in first, Lewis Hamilton in second, Charles Leclerc in third. Really opens things up for the title race. James Schubert looks very satisfied with himself. I'm surprised he's able to celebrate after, you know, basically colliding into the wall at 280 kph. But we'll figure it out. We'll decide. We'll see what happens. But well done, Baku.
Well done, Baku.
It took a while, but at the very end.
Here's some replays then. So we have a bird's eye view.
Oh my
my
goodness.
word, big impact. And Giovinazzi's just thinking, what's going on?
Wow.
Here we are then, we're on board with signs. Watch your steering wheel. Watch your steering wheel.
Oh.
He tanker slaps me.
Oh wow.
Did he tanker slap me just there?
Oh wow. Well, I think it's because he had the Haas going on the outside as
On
well.
board now with Mag. Oh, he just,
wow.
that's a brutal accident.
Yeah.
Oh, and look, it's a canoe at that point.
Yeah, it really is. Just pushing a canoe.
On board with myself.
So let's see what happens here. You move over to the right. You keep the steering wheel straight, and you've just got a bit of contact. No.
Oh! I did not turn left, boys. I just got tank slapped there.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
What do you think, man?
Racing incident. Four cars should not be going down the straight that fast on the final lap. I can't believe that you managed to sneak in and get P10. Wow. Just wow. I have no reaction. I have no words at this point. Just well done, Baku. We'll see you next year.
Lance Stroll though, 20, grid spot 20, and now he's come home in 9th spot.
Yeah, Lance Stroll and yourself doing the Italian job. Having a look here at the driver standings. The 2 Ferraris, Charles Leclerc leads the championship. Verstappen in 5th, Perez in 6th, Albon 7th, and you're in P8. But look at that, the racing points have taken McLaren for 4th place.
Wow, what a race.
I have no words. I actually have no words. I've never seen anything like that happen. That was reminiscent of Spa in '98 when everyone just came together at the start.
Yeah.
Hopefully everyone's safe and okay. Hopefully no one's been injured. I'm very interested to see if there are any choice words from the McLaren boss or even from Gunther Steiner. I reckon he would have some words to say as well.
How did you feel about Gunther?
You think it's just really frustrating. You try to get the points, you get it with Roman, and then Kevin, he's just a passenger, and he didn't do anything wrong. And I will be having words with Zach regarding the conduct of his 2 drivers. I'm just assuming that's some of the things that would be coming out of Gunther.
Magnussen really was a passenger in that canoe.
He was an innocent party and then became a passenger in a canoe. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We really appreciate you hanging around for the whole video. And next week we have Spain. So, yeah, very exciting times. Love that track.
Yeah.
Catalunya.
Yeah.
Rip the track.
Look, I'm sure we can make Catalunya exciting for everyone. So we hope you guys tune in and we hope you enjoy this video. We'll see you later.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.